Test, 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 test. There we go. There we go. Welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. There, yep. Hey, welcome to the Psy Tai podcast, where we combine our mind with our heart, see what our gut mind is saying, connect all those three circles, and let whatever come out, presto magical, just come on out. It's Psy Tai, and we here today playing Mount Shasta, Gateway to Astro. I uploaded this a while ago. Play this while I share this video. I thank y'all for coming through. Whoever pops on through, be sure to check out the Discord, as well as just chat along, ask questions along the way. That's how we tie things going on. We tie everything together, tie all the perspectives, just listening, just seeing, observing, and tie. Yeah, I said tying things out, but for those that don't know, that's like just talking things out. I mean, right? Live with it. Let me post this over here too. All right, I posted that in Discord. I filmed this at Mount Shasta. It was pretty cool being there. I plan on going back pretty soon to really get in tune with the energies, get in some mushrooms type space, or to just get into that psychic space and see what people talking about the Lemurians and everything up in the mountains. Oh yeah, allowing people to find the channel, send out the notification. There we go. Let me bring up this chat box in here. Yeah, the one thing about Northern California though, these fires for sure. But being here in Chico, I'm like right in the safe zone. Right in the safe zone, so I'm not that worried about it. Just the air and stuff like that. Gotta stay out the air. Where's it at? Where's it at? All right. All right. Welcome back to the Psy Tai podcast. Yes, let's get it started. Woo! Oh yeah, I do got these back. Oh, I forgot they tried to take away my pro account, but we are back. Y'all happy about that? This life is a game show. You just gotta find it out yourself. So welcome once again to the Just Tainow, the Psy Tai podcast. Oh, please, I gotta start the show. Oh, comedy. I love it. Check out the Just Laugh Now show, where I was using that a lot. Using all those cues and buttons a lot because of the ambiance that it creates. We've been programmed watching sitcoms all of our lives. Not programmed, but we're watching sitcoms all our lives. And the laugh tracks, those used to be even more definite and louder back in the day. And I watched every sitcom growing up until I was like in my 20s, and then started relaxing and on stuff like that. Right, it was Nick or Night, CBS, NBC. Three's Company, Bill Cosby, you know, the Nick at Night schedule, to Reba, to all the DL Hughley one-on-ones, all the sitcoms. They always got the laugh track, the clap track in the back. Even added, because it was supposed to be filmed live in front of a studio audience. And that's how shows were. But then once they started seeing that people wasn't, that the magic that the movies and the TV was creating, and that the audiences, the people watching, is not going to see the audience anyway. They said, well, we can add this digitally and conjure up the same feeling. And that's how deep in this simulation, that's how deep in this life we really are. This whole life is this whole This whole thing is a stage. Whole thing is a thing to have fun in. And then sometimes it's gonna seem like you're not having fun. Like the floor is lava and you don't want to get burnt. You gotta hurry up and find high ground no matter what. Before the timer is out, a lot of us feel like, oh, you're gonna die. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die. I gotta do this, or I'm gonna die. I gotta act like this, or I gotta destroy this, or I'm gonna die. But it's a game show. It really is. It really is. And if you look deep in yourself, you'll hear all the thoughts that came to your mind that was reminding yourself of the same scenario. You ever hear people saying, yeah, I wish I could just restart reality, or just pull the plug on reality, or I know it's somebody watching me. You hear those parents? I know it's always somebody watching me. And these are real thoughts that people deal with. I laugh about it and I joke about it because I said, like, life's a joke and it can't get me, because I'm part of it. I'm not playing that role of scared, fearful, looking around in reality, where are these thoughts coming from? And I still don't fully know, but from my experiences, what my experiences showed me with psychedelics in many different ways. It's infallible. I can't really put words on it, but but my experience was actually seeing the stage, like having that. Oh yeah, you thought, because it was just the mushrooms and everything was going with my thoughts, how I correlated reality. So it had to get me in the most spectacular way that I would be able to digest. And it was in the way of saying, hey, the wall's just falling and everything, and then into reality shift. And it's like, hey man, game show. And I really love that. I really love that that we can, as humans, can come to the appreciation of life where we don't feel so trapped up in it. And that's why I named this thing Dream, Psychedelics, and something else. Something else I named that one with it. Dream, Psychedelics, Dreams, Control. Yeah. Yeah, and just seeing what that actually means when you go to that control word, that get real topsy-turvy. Real topsy-turvy. Hey, Exile, all the signs, gang, gang. Tie it on up. Tie it all together. Hold on one second. That we can, as humans, can come to their how I correlated and it was in the way of saying, hey, the wall's just falling. Yeah, but I was talking about reality, how all things is all connected together, and the thing of being a show, and just those hypertension thoughts that we have a lot of times, especially if you're an overthinker that doesn't ever have the chance to relax, or doesn't allow themselves to have the chance to relax, because you're thinking, oh, I gotta do this, oh, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and then I gotta set myself for this 10 years later and do myself for that. Like, where are all those thoughts coming from? Where are all those thoughts coming from the mind? Like, well, that's your mind telling you stuff. But what script is the mind following? Is it a script? Is it free will? Is it us being a part of the story and then forgetting that we was the actor, and like taking an amnesia pill and be like, I'm gonna act the shit out of this role. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lose myself in this role. Like, I'm gonna be so hardened, I'm gonna forget who I am. I'm gonna forget my original, how my body even looked, and I'm gonna think that this is my body. Like, imagine like putting on a costume and playing out like it's one of the characters at Disney World. And they really be acting out the character. I've seen the videos. I've never been to the one. I've been when I was younger. I barely remember seeing the characters though. It was in Florida. I don't think they really got characters there, but the one in Cali they do. But I see videos of people dressing up as, like, say, the husband to a prince character that's there. I mean, I guess Disney, so they don't got that stuff going on. The girlfriend to a prince that was there, and then the prince will see the girl and then still play out the character, like, oh wow, I finally found you. And then they was like, oh, the person melted because they was so happy that the rando in the costume at Disney World went along with the picture and stuff. Or they be like, oh, I like your outfit and stuff today. Just telling the story how people get into costumes, get into makeup. And even in today's time, with how we are creating digital effects. Thanos, y'all all saw, a lot of people saw Avengers. Thanos was all motion cap. They had spots on his face so they can like track where his eyebrows and his eyes and his cheeks and everything were. And then it was a camera right in front of his face, like you see this microphone, like, and it was just tracking him. So it was like a dolly, I think, that went up there, so it was like attached to his neck. But it was recording all his facial features, so they can then put that on the Thanos puppet and be able to then have that Thanos puppet go out in the Marvel universe and do the things that it was doing in the Marvel universe. Like, who is Thanos? What's real and what's not real? Like, what's going on? Is Thanos the character alive and breathing, or is it the character that was moving his face and captured the data? And that's why I'm seeing with dreams and psychedelics, it's all real. It's all real. It's no, like, our whole concept of real is based off of what we're able to experience. So, so the get over the deal with that conundrum, might as well say both. Might as well say that both is real. But we've been over that before in the Psy Tai podcast, so I don't want to keep going back. But I just felt my thoughts, like I said, my thoughts leading myself there. And that mind control that we all try to fight and have, I don't think exists. I really don't think mind control exists. And then that get in the way when people say about free will and everything. But when everything is all one, and I mean, not even one like that, but when you're one with yourself in that way, and the example I'm saying with the character and the puppet and the virtual puppet, the way that magic work is not how we're used to, like with so much separation rules and stuff like that. It's so much more cohesiveness in the world, in that plane, like how the planes are. You ever see the movie The Never Ending Story? I know, and I always term it up as the tie-ending story, because how stories that seem like they're not related to each other are related to each other. Like in The Never Ending Story, the boy was reading the book, but how he was reading the book, his thoughts was interacting with things that was going on inside the book, and things that was happening in his reality was affecting the characters inside the book. And it didn't seem like it was supposed to happen, but you got to check out this movie. Or if you ever had a real heightened experience, stressful experience, or what we term as spiritual experience, or psychedelic experience, you'll know what I mean. You know what I mean. And while y'all here, I actually wanted to put a new spin on the word psychedelic and things like that. Because everything got a connotation to it. Everything's created by sun. This word was created, psychedelic, mind manifesting, was created by a actual, I was about to say a physician. But a doctor back in the 50s. I think it was 52 or 56. So he put these words together. So I came up with a new word. That's mine. Can you light it for me? Or bring it back or something? Thanks. Somnum porta. Samina porta. And what does it mean? Well, if you want to break it down, it can mean a bunch of things. But I took the Latin word for dream, which is somnum, and the word for gateway in Latin, which is porta. So somnum porta, dream portal, or dream gateway. It do the same way. Word for portal is the same word for portal. Gotta learn English. Same word for portal is the same word for gateway in Latin, porta. So somnum porta is like dream gateway, because it's always seemed like it's there, and then it seemed like these substances, the somnum porta, you take it and the gateway is open. It's always open, and it allows you to be, once you stepped in the door once, be like, oh, I know how to open this door. But where's that opening to door? Where's that door opening to? A portal, a gateway to another dream. Another dream, as this is a dream, as I put it. It's like this is a lucid dream, just as much as when you close your eyes, that world is a lucid dream. And then you ask yourself, well, why don't the same circumstances happen? But then most of the time they do. We just forget it. We just forget them so much. Or we was just happy, excited to go to one where something that was so-called better than our situation here happened. So we like, oh, when I go off in my dreams, it's all good, and then I come back here and it's horrible. Like, what's making here so horrible? It probably got some work to do, and probably in that other world, other dream you were in, you in that form of yourself, you mastered a lot of stuff, way more than what you mastered in this type personality body, in this meat suit. So you have access to those different things, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you manifest yourself, or sometimes you go into a dream, pop up a dream where you have a nightmare, and you got the boogeyman chasing you. You got the sleep paralysis monsters and demons all over top of you, and you can't move and stuff like that. Or end of the world horror movies is what used to get me. There used to be end of the world dreams, like floods and running around trying to save people and people that I knew. I used to have those. I talked about that on the Psy Tai podcast a lot, but I've not had those dreams for a long time. But that's when you pop up in those dreams and those manifestations. And all of it can, and that's why dream interpretation is still a cool thing, because it can allow us to, it allows us to be able to have a new outlook, a new download, a new perspective on what's going on in this world. Because you can't really solve, you can't, like I was brought up in the last the last podcast, trying to solve a problem, or as Einstein put it, you can't solve a problem with the same information that made the problem. I think I just paraphrased the mess out of that, but that's how I put it, I guess. But he came to mind because he sparked that in a lot of people's imaginations, that phrase that was really esoteric in his own way, in so many ways. You can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. That's what he said. That's what he said. You can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. So getting into these dream states, the other dream worlds and stuff, having access to other parts of the mind and other forms of self, of I and everything, is it's the same thing. Lucid dreaming, daydreaming. Helps to see the connectedness between the dreams. Yes. Hey, you well? Welcome, welcome. It does. Because a lot of people that do experience dreams and stuff and heightened dreams, they still feel kind of lost at a lot of times, because they get in all these dreams, but the connection and how it's correlated to this life, and most of the time they like, oh, it don't really mean anything, or yeah, I have these wild dreams and stuff and I do this, but it don't really, is it's still a whole lot of confusion, because we never put into words really as human beings about what happens between the dimensions of dreams. And we kind of did, though. But what? Huh? Uh, I can't hear you really. But yeah, it's all good. What? We'll see about it. Go do something. We'll see. It's not that bad. Hmm. We'll see. I gotta finish this. But yeah, the connection between dreams. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I could have hit the be right back button. I forgot all about it. I don't even see it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, but we still here. I was saying that we actually do kind of have a story between what happened with dreams, but it's so convoluted with religion and stuff that a lot of people don't even know that it's right in front of their face, and then it's being interpreted as other ways. Like, oh, when I just die, I'm going to be able to experience these things. And not just when I close my eyes or like at any moment, rather you fully sleep or meditating and stuff and things like that. That's why a lot of people turn to Buddhism. Anyone's like the attention. Yeah, they do. It's all love. It's all love. It's like energy is energy. It's like they getting it. I want some of that too. It's appreciated. I appreciate everybody. Now let this go out. But yeah. We've been told about dreams in so many different ways. In so many different ways through religion and stuff. And that's why a lot of people turn to Buddhism, because they like, oh, we got these things in words about being able to travel in different realms and enter in samadhi and different states of consciousness so that you can download different things to your robot to hear. But that was nothing but somebody else's story. A beautiful story indeed. A beautiful story indeed. And one that was made to come out, because I even seen a Buddha figure in a psychedelic space. So in like the deepest corners of my recesses of my mind. So I know it was some strong ties, some strong vibes with the Buddha spirit and the Buddha story. But yeah, what I was getting to with dreams, the connection between seeing them, experiencing them, and having that connection to them, having that connection in the first place to dreams, and knowing like how to even, because us as human beings, when I was talking about Christianity before, and I talk about that a lot because it pop up a lot, and yeah, you can mind travel just closing eyes yet. Yeah, you can, you will. That's what I was mentioning. Just close your eyes or laying down, whatever it is. Me, sometimes I get it with my eyes still open. And I see people, they bring that up in this dimension that I popped that we live in right now as a autistic stare. They said people with autism can just stare and zone out like real easily. But I'm like, with those terms, it has so many connotations. So like any other religion, you got to figure out and see things behind the veil for yourself. Like dream about what they're saying, and then you'll see yourself in it and see what's really going on, instead of like letting the mind figure it out and piece things together because the mind just figures things out. It's a processor. So it's like, oh, you gave me this. Well, and spit something out. Spit this. It's always spitting something out. I was just on the back of a motorbike. I was watching a bike race by the water with people. Yeah, I just was too while I was reading it. Like every time I read, that's why I think they say reading is important on a lot of levels, because it allows you to be able to paint a vision in your own mind space with just words. Like not that much stimuli going on, not that much external stimulus going on, but just the words being able to create a picture. Because sometimes you can talk to people and they ain't picture nothing you said. Or they don't know what you're talking about because they didn't really have the opportunity to picture it. It just was like processed in a way real fast. And then and then like I'm seeing the difference in speech and how we pronounce ourselves a lot of times. Because a lot of times with myself, I would be mad at myself. Like when I finally started tapping back into my dream states and lucid states and seeing that this how I used to feel when I was growing up, and I cut that off. I was like, wait, what was I doing now or before? Just rambling off, just saying, oh, this, that, blah, 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 human, blah, 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 blah. But that's what, going deeper into myself allowed me to have fun with that and to see that that's how we have fun as human beings, or how I have fun existing, because you can't just shut up. You're not just going to sit there and look at a wall for 50 till you die, or transfer to another existence. Like, well, that's when you get into what I was talking about how I grew up learning about what the body was like. Oh, it's the flesh. It was the flesh, and it's part of the devil's domain, and the spirit is part of God's domain, and it was separated. And now here the flesh has to kill itself, has to always kill itself in order to connect more with the God part of self, with the Holy Spirit, and those dream states. So I was like, still had that programming in me without realizing it. And a lot of people be having this going on too. A lot of people still be having this going on. So then they don't talk that much, or they don't really express themselves. They don't express themselves. And this can lead to depression. Because you're still just depressing a part of yourself. You're depressing it, like, stay down. No, not now, not now. You're too crazy. You're too wild. And yeah, and that's a wild, it's a wild times to go through that. Wild times, because you become really self-critical, not just of yourself. I mean, you become self-critical of everything around you, not realizing that you're mostly being self-critical about yourself, and not realizing the aspect of yourself, or not wanting to realize it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to go that part of me. That part of me bring up this and bring up that attached to that memory. I'm like, whoo. And then I just be mouthing off, and then look back and be like, why did I even say anything? Why did I even? Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Let it go. And then eventually you start getting that mind, you start practicing. You start getting start practicing. You start practicing on the board, and start being able to have that lucid state at the same time of talking. And then it feel like you're loosing at it, but you're still like got the mind, body, soul going on, as y'all heard in the past, or the mind, the heart, and the gut, as y'all hear on the Thai side. You got your heart going, which I would say is like the spirit, and then the mind, which is like, all right, what do I do now? Like, I want to do something. And then the gut, which is like the fire, and just like, all right, let's turn it up. Let's just go and do it. Let's just go and do it. And taking care of that sacred flame, that sacred fire, is like our own personal duty. It's not anybody else's job to come say, hey. It does pop up at times. People pop up, and what I'm doing right now is I'm up to somebody's stomach, and I'm messing with the fire. Like, here, let's make the flame go this way, and like just breathing and making it go higher and stuff. Watch soon. The visual effects is gonna be on fleek. I got some a little offshoot. I have this art project I'm working on with shirts, and I can't even give out too much information on it, but it deals with AR and VR and everything. So it's coming along. I talked about those shoes a while ago. If y'all was here and I was talking about those shoes, like that thing is really, I was working on it yesterday, and I ran across a program that's really going to help the dream prosper, or the idea. Whatever the dream is, it's going to be what it is. I have an idea. Yeah. I was going through this book. of Our Dreaming Mind again, by Robert Castle, PhD. I mean, I said that like that was his last name. Like Robert Castle. And it was something I was running in here. Clear seeing. I left off reading about Helen Keller last time. And Helen Keller, who was blind, deaf, and I don't think she couldn't talk either. And she used to talk about visiting other worlds in her dreams and everything. And then another part Clear Seeing at Night. It's this guy. Yeah. I was about to say it's this guy, Mark Twain. But y'all know who Mark Twain is. Mark Twain. His real name was Samuel Clemens. In his notebook, he described unusual visual acuity possessed by his dream self. And this is study into dreams. My other self, my dream self, is merely my ordinary body and mind, freed from clogging flesh and become a spiritualized body and mind, and with the ordinary powers of both enlarged in all particulars a little, in some particulars prodigiously. Waken, I cannot form in my mind the minutely detailed and living figures of a face in a form, in a costume which I have never seen, but my dream self can do all this with the accuracy and vividness of a camera. My dream self meets friends, strangers, the dead, the living, and holds both rational and irrational conversations with them upon subjects which often have not been in my waking mind and which in some cases could never have been in it. So I remember my grandma, when I used to tell her about my dream, she would tell me, do you see faces that you never seen? Can you make out the faces? Because people don't usually do that. I was like, yeah, I can. So I don't think everybody can actually make out faces. But before I get into that, what you say? You said Apple is trying to make AR glasses that could work to get in AR clothing into this world. Yeah, Apple, they put out that patent. We went over that a while ago. You was there. I think I was talking to you about the patent that Apple put out for the AR glasses, and the processor that's going to be in there, and the 8K resolution glasses that's already going to blow everything out of the park that's available right now. So I'm getting all the prototypes on the creative side on what can be done with the technology, like already kicking off. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, but it's gonna be the good tip is gonna be like things that's gonna be able to pop off your shirt when you're viewing it with your phone, and then soon it's gonna be with the AR goggles, take it to the next level. But I'm prepping, gotta prep. Yeah. But what I was bringing up too with the being able to recount faces in your dreams, like if you can't recall faces in your dreams or see faces in your dreams, let me know. Let me know so we can have a concise study on how things are with human beings and us and things like that. But I've always been able to make up faces. I just had this random memory I did not bring up, even think about in a long time. When I was younger, I used to have so many. It's hard to recall faces after dreams. Yeah, it is. Unless it's familiar. Unless it's familiar. Now I think about, like, if I was to draw it, if I probably say, oh man, once I draw it freehand, like an automatic kind of thing, it probably be like, oh yeah, I did see this in my dream. But just trying to make it out and say it was like this, I won't think that I can do that. But I do make out that I see a bunch of other people that I've seen before, like in this waking life. And I'm like, oh yeah, I seen this person, I seen that person. And sometimes I can make out hair. Like I remember if somebody had like long hair, short hair, and I remember eyes sometimes. I remember eyes a lot. Eyes and hair. People have issues with recall and translation from other dreams, REMs and dreams. And that's because I will put it, that's because it don't really correlate to what they seeing in their waking life. Like if you was always seeing certain colors, a certain range of colors, and then you only and then you seen another range of colors that you never seen before, but like a flash, how can you talk about what those colors that you seen? Like what color? What can you even really use the record to recreate it? Unless some new medium pops out, and you're like, oh yeah, this just reminded me. But even our regular activities, some people just work, go to sleep, eat, or have the same show they watch every day, or the same way they watch TV and eat and interact with people, so that things can, like, they got to set up a certain way. When you go in dream world, it's like, oh, it's so different. It's so different. It's like trying to recall a movie from 30 years ago. Uh, Excuse me. Oh, that's one of the plans already, Exile, the NFT it. I told y'all that if y'all was he say see faces all the time. That's cool. That's cool. I was thinking if y'all watched that short that I uploaded, the sync was real. The sync was so real. It started with me it started with me wanting to look up old punk music. So whenever I want to do that and I'm not real familiar with the names of the punk bands, I type in old Tony Hawk Pro Skater songs. So I typed in, I was listening to Tony, I always go to Pro Skater 4, so this time I went to Pro Skater 3, just be a little different. So I was playing it and it went to the song Let's Get Dirty. And then right while that song was playing, I was sent an email by portion.io, and that's an art auction site for NFTs, but you have to like have a portfolio, a website, a social media following, and they want to check your stuff out to see if they want to even allow you to be on their website. And there's a lot of trippy artists on their site too. And I forgot I even sent it to them. It was like a couple months ago when I sent them my application. So now when I was doing so now I was listening to the song Let's Get Dirty, they sent me that and I was all excited. So let me go check out the site. And then when I checked out the site, on a main page on like the third bar, it was a picture called Let's Get Dirty. Like that was the title of it. I was like, yeah, the sync is real. The sync is real. You should start with an app that can be used with phones. Already am, you well. That's what I was saying. I found out yesterday. A way to actually make it possible with the phones. I was testing it with the computer and all of that. It's able to scan the image, and once it scans the image, it pops out. So it's so much to build. It's so much to build. I just be on that thing of people stealing my dreams. So, but that's just my ego. My ego, like I ain't telling everybody nothing, bro. But y'all know the flow. It's already in the works. Even trademarking the Just Tainow name is in the works. I paid for all of that, and they said it's gonna take a couple months. So it's business. It's business as usual. Business as usual. Nothing to be too excited on that side. I want to keep creating. And I was going to mention before, the memory popped in my mind. I didn't think about Exile and well. Of my dreams when I was younger, I had so many dreams being with Scooby-Doo in the game. Like I could vivid. I just saw one now when I went like this. It was a lot of dark scenes and creepy, just like the show. And we would go and solve the mysteries. Oh, and I still watch Scooby-Doo to this day. And I'm just thinking about it now in the ways that I can put stories together. It's because I was literally hanging out with them. I was literally hanging out cheek to cheek, like buddy to buddy, like, oh, the jump scares and all. And it was real exciting. And I always bring up that one of my first paranormal experiences that I can remember in this body as a kid was when I was watching Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island with my mom and her boyfriend, and I went upstairs and I started seeing orbs and stuff all on the ceiling. Now that you have the term for orbs, I just said it was flashing lights and balls all on the ceiling. I was scared and wanted to sleep downstairs with them. Yeah, it was also a time that I remember seeing what I would call like a magical creature in the forest, because we always put connotations on the woods and reasons why not to go too far, because you would see things and creatures and stuff like that. And we said it was a bear up there, and now I'm looking back, I'm like, why would a bear be there? But it was other creatures that I just remember hearing stories about, and this deer with like this glow around it in this way. But that's all I really could say about that. He said, I looked it up. Malagus Youth, super underground punk band from Phoenix. All right, I got you. I just looked it. I'm gonna keep it in this tab. Bang. That's what I mean. The imagination lets free the ideas, even if you don't share it, it will flow from another. Yeah, bro. That's what that's why I just was talking about it because that's been my experience as well. It's all just about working on it. If you're going to do it or not. Cuz even at times when I don't say things, it still play out. It still or yeah, it still plays out just like that. As if I was the one like right there on the desk in the other world writing it, even for me to pick up the idea. And that's why I have the sense of that's where my sense of urgency comes from. Cause like, yeah, you know how this works now. Firm, and I'll tell you, Sonic Conference, I'll tell you everything. The white dog thing. What's that about, you well? I really typed in the white dog thing like that. Was gonna make something pop up. I cracked myself up. But yeah, what's that about? I'm looking at it. It's actually a movie called White Dog. He said I was used to have an orb that would travel over vehicles. Man, that's cool. That's why when I watched it's this show you all called Yokai Watch. And when I ran back across that show, it unlocked so many memories of childhood in ways that I can't like vividly remember, but feel as though like, yo, this is how things were as a kid. And yokai means spirit in Japanese. And Yokai Watch, he has this watch and he's able to have a he's able to connect he's able to talk to the different spirits that's around him when he has the watch on him, and but these spirits actually cause everyday activities to happen that's around him, but he can actually see it in visible form. And I was like, yo, this is how, and at the time I was like, this is how it is. Wow, how did they come up with this cartoon? It's a being that like a spirit, yeah. I've read that at first that like it's like that being a spirit. That's how I read it. It's just like that being a spirit. Those things you just run across. As soon as you said Shadow Dog, I started thinking about Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a lot of was opening the doors for a lot of people dreams and having being approached by weird vibes. That's why I really do, no matter what people want to say, when they say everybody get along and stuff like that, everybody on the highest of ties do. But I think some people really do be breeding people. I experienced that people really do be breeding people to not really get along with other people, like for real. Even with themselves, because you know we try to stay on the on the biggest scale that we can tie on this channel, so not get to get trapped in anybody's sauces and stuff like that. But people really do be breeding people. I just ran across a video tying about somebody breeding genetics, like they want to like have their Aryan race keep going, so they trying to get people to breed them so they can have more outbreed the black people. And also another thing I was thinking about was when I was in Christianity and Harry Potter came out. I was in part of so many sermons that was talking about how Harry Potter was the devil and not the Harry Potter. Harry Potter was going to pollute our kids, and I was the kid listening to it and obeying and listening. So I was like, oh man, seems interesting, but that's just not for me. And to go back to what you were saying, you said like a dog made of dust that runs through walls, and the white dog you see out in nature or in parks, the shadow in buildings looking for stuff. Yep. That's how. Thanks for sharing, you well. Velvet Wind, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Hey, you made it through before the live was over. Before the live was over. but yeah, I think, and what I mean by having you fight yourself is because growing up, if I would have had another version of me that got in tune with the mind things that I'm in tune with now, like I learned so much from Harry Potter. I learned so much even about even and the way it played out, it just had to play out like that. Cause I saw myself as Harry, like locked away, people with the parents that was muggles, and then people sending letters off, and then sending the letters back off. Like, no, man, get them owls away from here. Y'all ain't gonna get them. Like that, his mother went crazy off of those kind of stuff. Cause my mom used to go and see psychics and go get palm readings and stuff. And I remember her growing up, and she always tried to find a leg in the church in order to find solace and a balance. Like say, oh man, I gotta go there because I messed up and stuff like that, or something got to me. But she used to think that she got possessed by bad spirits just because she did those things in the past. Because that's what was told to her. Yeah, the psychics, they get the psychics and stuff. They got demons in them. When you get your palm read and you're really being possessed by demons, because those are demons whispering in their ears to tell them the information in the first place. So I saw myself as Harry Potter in them a lot. So really everything always plays out. It always plays out in the reality that you find yourself in to line up with all the sinks that you can even try to deny or be mad about. My friend, they told him Scooby-Doo was bad. It is. It is. A lot of people, when they don't get into things and they just see the surface of it, it's bad. You know, actually, the first Scooby-Doo, they didn't put out. They did not put out because they said it was too scary. So they had to remake it for Cartoon Network audience. For like general, like they loved it. Cartoon Network loved it, but they said it was too scary. So they remade it. So Scooby-Doo know what it was hitting for. They literally had to soften their own punches up. Hey Velvet, you said me too. My grandmother was a voodoo priest. Oh, and they cut you off from that. You had to find your way back. That's a crawl. That's a crawl for sure. She was actually enacting in all the things, helping people. That's cool. Thanks for sharing. But Scooby-Doo was definitely a lot more scarier back in the past than what they made it out today. And it was always just trying to show us that it was just a man in a mask, no matter how scared you were. It was just a man in a mask. That's why I was going on those trips back in the past. And I came back here and just kept on forgetting. Like, I remember even talking about the Scooby-Doo dreams back in the past to people. It's like, I really want to cry right now, but it's all right. Because I want to go back and record my younger self. I just got to take a dream vision. That's all. That's the magic ticket. But I'm probably like, dang. I think I always been animated like this. And like I said, something was shut down. But that's the woes of the world. It's not the woes of the channel to talk about right now. But yeah. Because I already know it. It's just not in me right now to talk about it. So if it's not there, then we move on. But as we grow. No, I still know some spells. I did one last month. Only if you believe it can be. Yeah. Yep, that's what I always used to learn from the voodoos back in the past, the voodoo priests and priestesses. They just say magic don't work if you don't believe it, or the curse or spell, they say don't work if they don't believe in magic. And I think that all comes into play because your thinking is real. And if them sometimes you think you're thinking, some people got spells already put on them from their family lineages and stuff like that. Some protection spells. So you just say it's a hard, can't crack them too easy. They family got they back. They ancestors, as you want to call it, or even a family that was just like a generation ago, was practicing spells and making sure their family and generations was protected. Learning that now. That's what we doing. That's what I'm doing. And it's in the most naturalist of ways, unlike me saying that word. But yeah, Harry Potter. Harry Potter was definitely, I was taught not to go into any of those fields of thinking and ways of even reading the books to even know what the story was about. And then I remember being shown, I'm just showing y'all how the world works, how people teach with their heart of hearts, because they really want people to be able to survive. Like I was from a poor community. It was a poor church community that built themselves up to what they have now. And I wonder how they got the money. But but they was building them up, looking out for each other, looking out, surviving. But I just say surviving off of somebody else's dream. And now with the Somnimum Porta, as I term it, but as y'all know it as psychedelics, is awaken myself to my own dreams. Because we're always dreaming. Even the statue is having a dream right now. I'll give you this. Is the statue dreaming me holding it? Or am I dreaming of holding the statue? Who knows? Just time. Instead of saying, hey, well, this is the dream that we live in. And this is the rules of this dream. This is the facts of this dream that we're in. And if you do this, then this gonna happen. If you do this, then that gonna happen. It's like the kid like mine pops back into being with the Somnia Porta, and you say, what does this button do? Whoosh. Even if you explode like Dee Dee will explode everything on Dexter's laboratory. He was having everything figured out. He had his whole laboratory in his closet. You open it up, it was like a whole nother section. And he was cool too. He would have been cool to hang out with. Just make sure you take your shoes off when you walk in. But when Dee Dee would come and he wouldn't understand why his sister was doing the things she was doing. And she was just part of the puzzle. Trying to get him to wake up, loosen up. Hey, Ollie Cat, thanks for coming on through the Psy Tai podcast. I keep forgetting about the sound effect. There we go. Thank all of y'all for coming through. Alright, you said Ollie Cat. Yup, I dreamt Papa Legba, then I saw American Horror Story and went looking. I found out he's the gatekeeper, so apparently I was at the gates. In Dream, they said to do magic. You don't even have to think about it. Yeah, like in games, yeah. I like in games on stages, you use one thing more than other. Yeah, thanks you, Golly Cat. That's for sharing. So you was right at the gates, and you was looking for a key, not knowing you just gotta not even say open sesame, but the door just opens. Just put that into the narrative, and that's the spell right there. The door opens. Not even how open door. I wish for you to open. Hey, that's a harder spell to conjure. You gotta do a lot of work to make it work like that. Yeah. But oh, well, I got emotional. But but yeah, yeah, dreams. Gatekeepers, Papa. American Horror Story is one of the greatest shows. One of the greatest shows to introduce people to the horrors of their mind that they never wanted to face before. All starting in the first season with the House of Horrors. I watched that season at least like 3, 4 times. uh, it's so funny. It's so funny because the way that things was happening in those in the way that they play things out. I'm trying to think of the one. Oh, let's just skip to the third season. One of the best ones that you brought up, Ollie Cat. The Coven. American Horror Story Coven with the witches. With the witches. The witches, that was one of my favorite seasons, and showing how to be the supreme. I remember they wanted to be, in order to be the supreme, they had to go through the 7 trials, the 7 or 8 trials, and one of them was actually going to their own personal hell. And I was laughing that they went there because we know how we look at, sorry I don't know your name, but the person that played Precious, the big girl. And they made her work at a fast food restaurant, and she was just serving serving chicken and dealing with rowdy customers day after day after day after day. You said the gate looked like the door from the movie Queen of the Damned with all the ancient etchings, some Asian too. I still did not I still did not watch American Gods. I heard they canceled it. I heard they canceled it. And people were saying, yeah, because they were telling too much truth. Which is always part of the gamble. I'm about to look up that Queen of the Damned wall. Man, I remember Aaliyah talking to me when I was younger. I love that movie, Queen of the Damned. I remember seeing the movie posters and being like, wow. I was always fascinated with vampires. That's my other lives over there. Let me see if they got the wall. Man, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all this. So y'all not just looking at me. Um, yeah, they just showing the front a lot. Yeah, if you see a link to the picture you're talking about, let me know. I know it's not this wall. No, that's fan art. And let me just stretch this for the future. But you said they American Gods. Dark is a good time story. I'm like 5 episodes into that. You well when they go into the cave. I gotta finish that off. I gotta finish that off. The door was from the scene when they told the girl she was from a family of vampire hunters. That movie made me feel some type of way. It did, Velvet. Sure did for me too. You make a deal with the smiling one at the gate. I got deals all over the place. I was just watching Rick and Morty yesterday, and I was like, yo, Rick, man, he's that personality that's just showing people that I've been there, or that the creator in his aspect, because he created it in this world, that he been places. Because Rick, he got stuff with presidents in different worlds. He got y'all know how he get around. And that's why he don't put up with so much stuff, because he know how things operated in this world compared to this world, how it was similar to the overallness of the beings of the universe. Oh, it's magical. He said, you remember a video where she said she reincarnated from Kemet times. It's yeah, she's still reincarnating. Cause think of just Ty. She don't got that many songs. She don't have that many songs, but she still is influencing younger people today. People like teenagers in their young 20s. Still dressing like Aaliyah, saying she was a fashion icon. Saying, oh, this song got to me. And I don't even think the companies are really pushing it out that much. Like trying to keep her name alive, like how they do Biggie and Tupac. So it's like they ain't going nowhere. People like naturally vibe with her essence. And when you say stuff, watch what people saying. People be thinking people just be saying stuff off the rip or just to be funny or gain attention all the time. But most time they telling you the truth, even if they don't believe it themselves. And they're like, yeah, this is just how I express myself in my artistry. It's like, yeah, dream more. Tell me more about your dream body. And not just about your Photoshop self that you presenting to us right now. Yeah. Dealing with the synchronous American gods. Oh yeah, the Coven. I was talking about the Coven and American Horror Story being one of the best ones, and showing how the voodoo priests and the I forget all of their names, but the ones that was part of the Coven and their Wiccan aspects as a Wiccan practices of going about magic as opposed to the voodoo, and then them having this rivalry for years, then coming together. And yeah, y'all gotta see the show. All the memories not there right now. Yeah, she was out. You been to the Hall of Windows Mirrors? Yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times. And that's why in this world, when I ran across, and I actually want to do more with it, but yeah, that's a dream. I want to mess with infinity mirrors. Like, you ever see infinity mirrors? Like when you can look into something, like say you was looking into this book was a mirror, it would just look like it keep going forever and ever and ever. Like the same effect when you put two mirrors up to each other and you put your head in the middle and peek around. Look like it's going like it's like a something called an infinity mirror. And I got this cool idea for some art designs and stuff for her. Or outside of the portal tunnels in the in between. Yeah, yep, there too, UL. There too. And a great representation of this is in the Magician series by Lev Grossman. Um, when when Penny, when Penny was just learning how to travel, he got trapped in that world. That happened before. That never really happened. I never had that sensation of being trapped. That was, but I've been there. I've been there. But in his story, he got trapped there because none of the portals was marked. None of the portals was marked to know how to get back to different worlds and stuff like that. But it was fountains and stuff that led back to different worlds. That led back to different realities and stuff like that. But that was a place, that's a place of itself. That's a place of itself. And it has it has a library there and like people that take care of it, like maintenance it. It's wild. It's places between places and between places and between places. But yeah, well, that happened in the book. And in the show. I was in the hall of doors, and every door had a person or persons in them as I accidentally went into a door following a ball I was playing with. That's how it happened, you alley cat. Like, oh, here's a I was thinking I was thinking of Peter Griffin. Like, oh, here's a cookie. Oh, here's a cookie. And it was like a trail of cookies that led somewhere else. Or like just putting a trail of snacks, like ooh, ooh. Just in the feeling of, oh, this feel good, and then looking up and like, yo, where am I? What were the people like? The persons. Were they humanoid? Hmm. Hold on, I gotta get off this here. That's exactly how it was, but I tricked myself into playing with the ball that led to the door. There's another little childlike being, as we all are. That's how you get into the mysteries, is with the childlike being. Because when you think of an adult, period, you put adult, what coming to being? Oh, you think you got it figured out. Like, that's what adult means. Like, oh, I got this figured out, or I got a lot figured out more than I did a couple years ago. So I'm more of an adult now. Like my neighbor's daughter is 16, I think she just turned. And I heard him talk, and I was cracking up. She said, "Yeah, I'm an adult now. Like I'm an adult." And he just started laughing, like, ah, like, you really saying this? Like, you at that state? Cause he's a cool dad. He's like, ah, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, we think that, but our child mind is the thing that's like, hey, what's next? What can I do? And that's why a lot of teenagers get depressed. Like, oh, I got it all figured out. I got it all figured out. I'm gonna just sit in my room. Like, yeah, you got it all figured out. You're just gonna sit in your room and, yeah, you sure do got a lot figured out. I was seeing what it meant in Latin. Adultus, past principle, or part of, no, past principle of adolescence. Sorry, grow in maturity. And then, like, that's another thing. It was like, act mature. That's a big thing when people say act mature. What that I can see how it means stuff in different. Before I get into that, I didn't see you wrote something, and I knew I felt lonely. There y'all go. It felt dark energy in there, and I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. Then felt caged, but I didn't care. I was playing with my ball. I had dreams that I was on other planets. As felt I was in some sort of vehicle, ringing the belts of Saturn. Felt like gravel. Ooh, look up the Gate of Truth. In the future, babies will be telling about their past lives. They'll remember it much more. Yeah, because look how much we talking about it now. Like, I'm not a cartoon. Like, I'm a person. And then, I was only before jumping in this vibe doing what I was seeing on other people do. And now somebody see what I do. Some people see what somebody else do in a similar field. The torch goes on. Then I was on the moon in a cathedral-like arch building, looking at Earth. Yeah, we gotta draw all these things. I be envisioning them. I just be wanting to just go. Like, do you mean this? I'm gonna look it up. Gate of Truth. I'm thinking about the Gate of Truth, and oh, you know what it means. Yeah, I ain't even had to do it. You well. I was about to say I'm thinking about the Gate of Truth in Full Metal Alchemist, and as right as I pressed it, oh, it has arrived. The Gate of Truth in Full Metal Alchemist. It was wasn't that a big moment? Wasn't that a big moment in my life? The Gate of Truth was it was a time It was a time in Ed. Wow, I keep calling it Eldward. Why are all the names escaping me? But that's cool dreaming about being on planets. I was meditating before I get into the gate of truth. I was meditating thinking I was on planets and stuff like that. But like you said, we was there. I've dreamt all of us was on a spaceship called the Discord. Was the driver, and we went through time and space. I'm late to the joke, but I got it now. We saw the past, present, and the future while flying, but we was the size of an atom. The fastest way to travel. That's when you can start quantum tunneling, as they put in scientific terms. We saw the past, present, and the future while flying, but we were the size. Yeah. I swear something else popped up. Great minds think alike. We always find a way to link up. Had you say Velvet? Because every show, every time we own something, we gone. We gone. It's just how tuned in are you to see what's really going on. That's why people that be really fans of things, they really see where that spaceship is. Oh, yeah, man. I felt stupid. I couldn't go on talking about Full Metal Alchemist without remembering their names. Cause I kept just saying the Eldricks. But that's their last name, is Ed and Owl. I'm like, it's something so simple. But Yuel brought up the Gate of Truth. The Gate of Truth was what Ed had met. I mean, oh man, why am I getting the names? Was what one of the alchemists, the Eldrick brothers, had met after performing an experiment, performing an alchemical experiment, and it had all of the. I'm trying to see if you got a picture. It was a symbol of the tree of life that you'll find in Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism starting, but they renamed it and everything, like Adonai. This will be Malkuth all the way up to Qatar and things like that. So it had a lot of esoteric meaning in it. But in the show, it was when he was finally able to see the truth, the so-called truth, and everything was downloaded into his conscious body in a flash of a second. And they even showed the like film reel and stuff like that, and his whole body broke apart. But what was at the door was something that went by many names, as he said. And this one, he got sucked into it eventually. Here it is. That was talking to him about life and about what goes on and how do you see yourself. And it always was in that space. He'd say, "Oh, I'm just a mind manifestation of you," and things like that. But he's saying some call me God, some call me many different things, as I just said many different times. And then, but eventually he led him through the gate of truth. But it came with a sacrifice, which was part of the story. And then when he came back, it's not like he knew everything, but he had different powers now. So experiencing and being able to being able to sacrifice something in order to go through that gate of truth and make a deal with it. He did it because he all wanted to save his brother. It allowed him to have alchemical powers where he was able to do things with his hands when he go clap and could make things materialize and from other things. Because that was like he would turn this cup into a sword or something like that. But that's something that I think a lot of us here on this channel encountered. That oneness, that going through that gate that they turned to hear the gate of truth and experiencing something that we can't always put into words. We try our best. We try our best, and it's awakening us and having us remember something that's not even like new powers, but something that was just always there that we just wasn't using because then things wasn't just lined up a certain way. Hey, you said Velvet, you said where? when I saw the you said when I saw the past, present, and future, I saw this universe as a equation called the control theory. Everything was numbers, letters, and symbols. We're leaving our templates now here. Yeah, yep. I know exactly how you term that. And I wrote that as read that as one thing. Gematria, numbers, and letters. Most realms you would be connected to the same essences. What you were saying right there about the being connected and the control theory, leaving a template, making things easy. Because not everybody is starting from scratch like y'all think. Everybody grabbing a template. And a lot of people grab a template. Like that's what most we can do here too. Grab a template, remix it, tap into source ourselves a bit, and then create a new template for other. Like, oh, I see how this works. Or I've been using this program for a while. I now know how to create my own brushes now on Procreate. This is awesome girl now that's creating texture brushes for my type hair, for dreads, locks, braids, type C type hair. I think that's what she called it, like real defined curls, like how you see a lot of dark skinned people have hair naturally. And she created her own brushes on Procreate, and she took a sample of her. It was funny. She took a sample of her dad's hair so she can look at it and stuff like that. And so now you can just like go like this. You can just draw a line straight down and would draw a dread with a lock with all the hair sticking out the sides, the coney nature of it, how it's a cylinder, without doing that much work. So we drop and we doing some templates. We doing some templates here on Earth. I'm with that theory. Even the Just Tainow and the Psy Tai podcast. I know what's going on. I just get so much in the flow that it's not too much of acting like this is gonna change this and we're gonna change this on the future forever. It's like this is what's happening. This because when you get into that type, I'm gonna change the future and do this and okay, got it's I love it. I love it. I ain't even gonna say nothing about it too much. I love it. It just makes me laugh a lot because you just do what you do. Just do it. It's fun to be hype around and get out the energy, but just to get the balance in. Or know that that's an aspect, an after effect of what's actually going on. But yeah, leaving templates and everything. Leaving templates. Even, yeah, filters and ideas and stuff for us to jump into. That's why we say the belief. We used to say this a lot more on this. I used to say this a lot more in the earlier Psy Tai podcast about belief. And I don't believe in nothing. I don't. But as soon as you believe, like I believe in it, but I don't like have a belief in anything. Like anything can fall at any second. Like I'm not trying to hold anything up forever. Like this has to last forever. Like things that will last, like how they say with a relationship. If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Even if you separate for a while and come back together, and you feel like, no, that's not want to do because it's like we're together, supposed to be together. It's like it's meant to be, it was meant to be. Things supposed to be forever. The events will play out and everything so that it will be forever. If not, then it will crumble and you'll find the book in the sand and be like, wow, how did people forget about this? Or it will pop up in a remix in another reality. And it'll be the us the tool the tool-ite show. I was trying to say just tie backwards. I'm gonna need a shirt with that because we are one. Hey man, hit me up, email me. I can make some customs. I can make some customs. And now that seemed like it's a vibe for a moment, check out the Just Tainow art store where you can see Mad Triangles, Dreamwell. Shouts to UL for helping out with the title of this one, Dreamwell. The Circle of Tai, the true story, a true story, the Instagram where I broke down that why I made this is on. I put the story on Instagram and TikTok, and the proclamation of eternity, available stickers and all them things. Yeah, and shouting out the squad since we was on True Life and talking about King Eyes. When you scroll down to www.justtiednow.com, you will see the Psychedelic Rapture and the RTN Real Talk News hosted by King Eyes. So be sure to keep a lookout, and wall lace organite pair mats. So be sure to check out the Squiddy Squad, the Just Tied Now fam, and on Just Tied Now's website, and the family. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, email me so we can just chat it up, or Discord me. However, Discord me, Facebook me, Instagram me. Whatever rings bells in your neck of the woods. Oh, all right. I got 15 more minutes. I gotta pick up my daughter. Oh. Hey. Hey, King Guys. Speaking of the devil. Speaking of a real one. Speaking of a businessman. I was seeing if it was anything I can pick up in this book, or if it's any topic y'all got to get into the next thing real quick. Ecology study. I was thinking about hypnotism. It didn't even pop up. Hypnotism. And what state of mind are hypnotists putting people in? Oh, you really just popped in? I thought you was there and you popped in because I've talked about you. But I guess I did talk about you and you popped in, bang, bang. Don't fight your thoughts too much. Just try to make it make sense, and then you'll see the magic at work. Hey, Charles the Awakened. The Awakened Charles. Hey, fam, what's good? Site looking nice. Thanks, bro. I went back in there and I I said, people gotta actually be able to navigate this. But I'm that dream. We looked like us, but we wasn't us. And I knew it was us. I knew it was in us. Or us. Yeah, we always have that sense of self. That's why it's so wild that we get our sense of self so tied up to this body. When even our thoughts is not even tied up to this body. We feel like we can fly. And then shout outs to UL for putting the poetry out there. Y'all gotta check it out. I went to go do the parasailing. I was flying. And I'm seeing how people, us humans, take that to even, like, I felt wonderful. Being up there, letting the wind on my face, being able to see down, and it was so far down, and having to deal with, oh, I'm just up here. Now, oh, I'm up there and down there. It's like, oh, I'm just not even up here. I'm just here. Look around. What can I see? What is here from this perspective? And they're just like taking it all in. And that is like something you're not used to doing. And then being on, I just saw a person skydive out of a plane without a parachute. I said, yes, that's where it is. I think eventually I am going to be going skydiving. Y'all going to see just Psy Tai go skydive. And he didn't have a parachute. And what they had was a net at the bottom. A net. And they had people around them with safety chutes. And they had like these kind of jets on their feet just because they had to hurry up and go a little faster than what's needed to catch them and stuff. But once he had everything aligned, he was doing all those flips and stuff. He just whoosh, went into the net. And he saw the net go like, whoosh, and then he just went back up like a trampoline, and he was on the ground. Like, his perspective is out of this world. He's like, I'm going to fly today. Even going hiking, if you have hikes, mountains and things around you, you'll seem like you flying when you looking over the top. And sometimes even if you on top of the mountain, scream something. Scream something. Let it out. Screaming at the top of them. That's what they say. Screaming at the top of the mountain. Like, especially if you add a mountain. The ritual is complete. Yeah, Charles, it was amazing. It was amazing. Hey, Turnbull 456 said my higher self spoke for me and I couldn't believe it. I heard all the words came out of my mouth and they were powerful. So there is a higher you in me. I know that for a fact. It blew my mind. Oh man, her. I'm gonna call you four. Go by your numbers. 456. That you can break down how I should say your name. But 456. That's amazing. That's amazing, that experience. I'm glad you got. I'm glad you got to share that experience as well as experience it, because it's something else. It's something else when you just like the inspirations, the all the idols and things that you always saw around you, and the quotes and things that they will say that will get you out of your rut in the deepest of times and stuff like that. When that pops into your own imagination in your voice, it's like, I just said that. Woo! I just did that. And it's so self-satisfying because it's like the ultimate art. It's like the ultimate art because we don't have the proof. Because like art, you don't need to prove art. You just, here it is. You present it. It just is. So when this happened, it's like the ultimate self-satisfaction thing. Like, wow, I got this. I'm on board. And it don't make sense to none of this all the time. To none of the brain thinking, the mind calculated to what people said to you before, well, how people calculated things for you, and just like, oh, this is, and this how it is for myself too. It's like this is how I'm seeing it. Like I see. And that now every Christian song gonna make sense. I was blind, but now I see. And like, see what? I still see the same. Like, no, I don't. You can see things that you hear that some people only hear. Um, I felt it in that spaceship. I told true life stories, linking up. Hop up aboard in the spaceship. You got me thinking about that song. Oh, you will. The essence you can sense in every rim, the ones you're strongly linked to. I want to use that hoverboard drone thing. Yo, yeah. I saw somebody drive, it was a viral video, somebody driving that around New York. Trying to be casual with it. You know people's gonna film him. He's like, he just hovering going down the street. That's where it's at. I forgot all about those. There's a couple technology I'm gonna be on. It's just gonna pop up. In terms of it seemed like it's things I was thinking of the thing that go on the water and you like pump it and then it keeps you going and stuff like that. And even that jetpack where you on the water and it uses the water to push down the water to push down so you can have a so you can take off. There's a lot of cool things going on. 333. Oh, it was 12:33 at my time. Oh, name Gail. All right, I'm calling you Gail. I did not wear. I didn't. Hey Charles, you said I did the water hoverboard once. It was next level. Got high up as 30 feet. Very free feeling. Oh, I didn't even read that. You already brought it up before me. Oh, that's cool. I'm like, I want to do I want to do a lot more water sports than I thought that I would want to do. Because once you get out in the water, it get a little intimidating. But then once you out there and you do stuff, you're like, oh, okay, this is the free playground. You got to be out here in order to do these things. I did. He said, "Cleaning my mind, 30 grams. Who am I fooling? Fooling, not saying I won't, but not now. Hey, you just never know." Knocking out the 30 grams, you just never know. And I think the more you don't really talk about it, the more it pop up. I mean, the more you like probably do it. Like, unless you're a person to say, all right, I'm gonna drink this whole bottle right now. Then I don't think it's gonna be a lot of people that just jump into doing like that big of a doses. But I think like the more we get into it, I'm thinking of myself too. The more I get into it without actually thinking about the numbers or doing it in different ways. Like I did for like True like to bring up. I done 4-ACMO too. So there's no telling what was in that dose. And that's what Mystery Ozo brought up before. Why he brought up making sandwiches and teas and stuff. Or chocolates. He brought it, not sandwiches, chocolates. And because he said it's like a barrier in the mind that has to be passed in order for like the experience to happen. Like it's something that's saying, hey, no, like, or it's just, or if it's not saying no, it can be like the most general feeling, but it have you feel like, oh, not today, or let me take a little bit less, or something like that. But if it's all concentrated and stuff, and you just, whoop, you like, all right. The thought I always get is, all right, there's no turning back now. Like you know how to prepare. You know how to prepare to not have something horrible happen. So don't even think like you want something horrible to happen or do something that you think is too paranoid, or it's just like just do what you know to do. It's like it's on. It's like it's on now. It's on now. I know 15. I got till 45. Get off at 1. Read your mind, or was I wrong? What was you gonna say? Cool, right on time. And sometimes you gotta check yourself, just to make sure. Just to make sure. If you can drink a lot of liquor, surely you can do that. Yeah, I'm just talking about the vibe of just like I'm used to going at it. Cause it can be in other doses. Right, did a lot of cocaine binges and stuff in your days. Like I just gotta go for it. Like I'ma deal with these demons today. Y'all said this happened when I take this much. All right, just give me all of it. The most people that experience those spaces, and if they got messed up, or they call themselves getting messed up while they was in those other spaces, they be prepared to deal with the innermost demons of themselves, the innermost places that they know they gotta go to. They be like, all right, lock me up in the dark. Lock me up. Let's go. Because at some point they probably faced that gate, but that substance just had them at the gate and not know what to do. I'm just tying. Just tying. He said, I don't know, that dream I had them about the peacock and then the parrot, and then I see it on American Gods saying, if you can drink a whole lot of liquor. Yeah. I skipped that first part before I had to go back. I don't want to leave nobody out. The but yeah, just going past that barrier of the mind, because we set ourselves up with habits so much, and get ourselves into different realities. And we never really know what the person next door, what reality they living in. They could be in a totally different set of circumstances. That's why I don't like to judge. I like to learn. I like to learn and experience. I say learn first. And my higher self want to say just experience. Like we just in it. But my learning self, that's the mind still jumping away. Let me see a little bit about yourself first before I just jump into it. But even seeing about it is jumping into it, because it could just look away and not even pay any attention at all. Yeah, but getting into seeing, because people in all these different paths, you can be you could be living next, like they say, you could be living next to an alien and not even know it, They got a whole different mind state about how they habits are on Earth while they here. A whole alien, a whole malarkey, a whole Stark, a lot of things, Probably run into a Klingon old school. Just try to come up with the most blah blah names I can. But you just never know. Just letting that. That's why I like just tying, as opposed to having a conversation and just trying to be in the mind and playing this game of like chess. Like, what you gonna do? Oh, since you did that, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I thought you was gonna do this, so I was preparing for this. It's like, yo, let's just have fun. Let's change the rules to the game a bit. Let's move this, instead of making this piece move in the L, let's make it move in the W. Why? So confusing. No, something new. It gets my heart pumped, gets my adrenaline. I can play that game, but I just want to do something different. That's the beauty of it. Just yeah, it's the beauty of everything around us, and learning how to even get familiar with that speech of everything around us, because all is about stimuli, as you say, Charles. Not even trying to put it into a personification of a person, because then that would make you miss symbols of this. But it will connect you, because you're like, oh, this is the shape of a person. I am getting the vibes off of it. But then, what about the vibe of the raw paper? What about the vibe of this crystal? What about the vibe of this bud right here? The walls, everything is talking, saying things. It's just waiting for you to listen. And this, bang, wait, upside down. Like this, it looks like a mushroom on top, which is how I painted it. And then you turn it upside down, it looks like a nose or something else. But yeah, and then you get different messages depending on how you able to read it. I can laugh that I understand where I stand. Yeah, once you know where you stand, you can laugh a little more. Because when you get caught up, you're like, wait, is that what that person said true? Or wait, they coming at me? Or wait, is that? Is this that? Huh? Huh? I just learned today a phrase I didn't hear in a long time. It was Kanye West. And it was a video talking about Kanye West on compliments, like how he viewed compliments. And he was saying, yeah, it's funny when people say, yeah, that was good, or yeah, that was cool. He's like, yeah, I know it was good. And then and then I would come off cocky to people, but that's how he knew. He go convince himself that he didn't know it was good. And then but I already know that kind of vibe. But the phrase that was funny, he said that I didn't hear it since I was younger. He said, my grandpa always used to say, when somebody compliments you on your clothes, just be like, you got good taste. Not like, oh, yeah, thank you. Like, oh, whoa. Like you just now figuring out that your clothes look good. But yeah, but you can see a mastermind of that situation. Like, oh, I see that you got good taste. Like you like the kind of things that I like. Because I know that I like what I got on is good. Code, it's a brilliant thing. It's awesome. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna tie on out of here. I'm gonna go pick up my daughter from camp. Thank y'all for tying on by the Psy Tai podcast live stream. And y'all can stream this all on Apple Music, Spotify. I'm put all the links in the description. It will be here. Just type in Just Tainow podcast and it should come. The Psy Tai podcast and it should pop on up. Thank you, Velvet Win, Charles McPipe, Will Adams, Gail, King Giles, Ali Cat, Exile 13 for all coming through and sharing y'all stories. Charles Awakened. We had an awesome time. Awesome times. Just Tainow. Adios.